Nothing that I'm using here in the garden to protect the plants from heat, to shade the plants, protect them from heat radiation. Nothing here has to be plastic. Now, having done my experiment, and I've been doing this for, well, at least 2 years, but now it's become intensified. 2018, 2019 with the heat wave in Europe. I'm testing things out, so I'm learning a lot of things. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but from what I'm learning, I'm sure I'm going to change something. And so I have some ideas how to do that. But none of this has to be plastic. The reason it's plastic, it's the same principle as was created the Roman Empire that then took control of Europe to extract the wealth back to itself, and then formed its theological, political autocracy and corporate autocracy, and then they worked together to extract the wealth from society. And that's why you're seeing all this plastic, because it's to do with control of resources. So they're feeding plastic into society to extract the wealth, because if all of this was hemp, natural plant fibers, whatever, if this was natural woven material, any of us could do that. It couldn't be controlled by a centralized state. It couldn't be taxed and controlled by political elite working hand in hand, the same body with the corporate sector, all of them extracting the wealth of society, taxes, but limiting and restricting you. And then the biggest joke of all is they go, oh my God, all the plastic in the ocean. Yes, sure, because that's what you guys are manufacturing. So the same people that are creating this are going, oh, the plastic, we've got to now tax you. No, we've got to punish you. No, you can't use this. But you created it. You never had to make straws out of plastic. You could have made them out of hemp or any number of natural materials. So having created the problem, you're now going to tax and punish and wear down the human population who are forced to use your products to make you wealthy. So if you people don't want to be servants to the mob, and it can't go on like this anyway, because nature just will not allow it. I mean, we're designing ecological extinction, not only of mankind, but birds and the water and the health of the planet and all of it. And I don't see it going on. But if it's also about money, some people want. I have not done this. The way I plant and work is to be ecologically self-sufficient. It's not about money, it's not about the mob, it's not about elitism like, oh, you can grow 20,000 lettuce using my method, you know, this complete crap. You want to one lettuce with the maximum nutrition. So, but also it's respecting the love of nature. This is buckwheat. Just a packet of buckwheat out of the store, and I let it grow. I decided not to dig it in as a sort of like natural compost manure. And now these buckwheat is one of the most beautiful plants you could ever imagine. Nature doesn't extract a price, but humans extract a price on top of this ecology of nature. Now, I'm not talking about communism or socialism, because they also are the mob and they do the same thing. They're all, it doesn't matter what your political ideology is, it's all the same thing, this empirical ideology. So you're not going to, you know, Stalin and Mao and all these, they didn't create an alternative. They actually killed millions of people. which is extracting another kind of price called death. And so if people want to grow food and they can't afford all this crap, and not only just afford it, now I'm so upset now that I've realised what I'm talking about in this video. I'm really upset that I've got this in the garden. But in a way we're forced to do that because that's what they create in order to make money. But you can find natural alternatives, and it isn't going to cost you the amount of money that it's going to cost you to pretend to be a real gardener. And if you don't look for alternatives, you're not going to find them. You have to look yourself and stop believing that this primitive level of existence is valid or even relevant. The sun does not charge you for the light that it shines upon the earth.